Folks, happy Sunday. Welcome to Maverick Baking and welcome to another recipe video. Today we're tackling a classic. It's timeless and it's one of those things that's beloved by even the most part-time and weak of dessert lovers. It's buttery, it's just sweet enough, it's rammed with chocolate and whatever kind of chocolate you like. We're talking about the classic chocolate chunk cookie. This is one for beginner bakers and avid bakers alike. It's something I can never ever say no to. One of my favorite things to make, to bake, to eat, to talk about, clearly. And I can't wait to bring you guys this one because for some reason it's a recipe I've never posted here on the channel. My classic soft and chewy chocolate chip cookie recipe has been on maverickbaking.com for years now, but today I'm bringing you one that looks a little bit more kind of profesh, a little bit more classic even, and even simpler to make. It's one you can keep in your back pocket for special occasions, for Sunday snacking, for whenever your spirit needs a little bit of a lift, or whenever you forgot to buy someone a present and you want to make it look like you didn't. Not that that's ever happened to me before. Anyway, let's get into these stunning, timeless, classic, easy, simple, delicious chocolate chunk cookies. You guys already know what it is at this point. Of course, we're gonna start this classic chocolate chunk cookie recipe with some butter. Softened to room temperature, no need to melt, no need to go crazy, just as long as you can mix it without breaking your wrist. To that, we're gonna add equal amounts of white sugar, such as granulated or ideally caster sugar, and brown sugar, and a big old splodge of vanilla. And you're just gonna mix it together until it looks like dense wet sand. No need for it to be kind of fluffy and perfect like you see on the TV. For cookies, we want to keep it nice and dense. To that, you're just going to add 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. And you're just going to mix them in until it's all kind of nice and combined. Don't worry if it starts to look a little bit lumpy or kind of weird and separated at this point, because once we add the flour, it's all going to be fine, I promise. Speaking of dry ingredients, get yourself some flour, either plain or 00, a generous pinch of salt, more generous than you think you should be, and a little spoonful of bicarbonate of soda. Some people also like to use baking powder. I feel it makes them a bit too cakey. And you're just going to want to stir that in until you have a nice, thick, somewhat bicep challenging cookie dough that looks a little bit like this, lovely and inviting in that golden brown shade. And you're then just going to add some chocolate to it. Now, I always say that your chocolate chunk cookies are only ever going to be as good as the chocolate that you use. So I would always recommend to use the best you can afford or to use your favorite kind, as long as it isn't something kind of filled that will add too much oil or kind of any other weird things to the dough that can make it react funny. Personally, I love a kind of gentle dark chocolate in these cookies, something around 50 to 60% cocoa. If you like milk chocolate, feel free to use that. If you like super dark chocolate for a contrast, feel free to use that. Just stir it in and chill it for at least 1 hour, or ideally overnight, even up to 48 hours if you like. And you're then just going to want to pinch off little pieces, roll them into lovely little spherical spheres, always feeling free to add an extra chunk or 2 of chocolate on top just for the aesthetics, before placing in the oven to bake for anywhere between 10 to 14 minutes, depending on the size of your little cookie spheres. You might be making them big, you might be making them kind of bite-sized. Just keep an eye on them until they're golden and look somewhat dry on top. I would also always recommend a little sprinkle of salt on top just to add an extra pop of flavour. Enjoy them warm from the oven, enjoy them at room temperature when they've cooled, however and wherever you like. I just hope you love them every bit as much as we do.